Howdy, 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 y'all. It is another Maharaj video. This is chapter 14 Appearances and the Reality. And boy, is this chapter ever heavy. This is a very, very, very heavy chapter. And woof, just woof. That's the sound. I felt I was kind of making it quite a few times. At first, it starts as a very philosophical like debate almost. That's kind of what I got. It's like this, like this. It was a debate over cause and effect, or even like whether we live in like a universe of cause and effect and whatnot. Maharaj takes more of the approach that the universe is of our mind and we are one with it and we are the eternal, we are the supreme, etc., etc. So he actually takes the so he argues that we're not just in this universe of cause and effect. While this questioner seems to be, is arguing the contrary, even though later on it kind of seems to be revealed that they're a Buddhist or something. I don't know. Um, so I find, yeah, so it was this, it starts out that way. And that whole debate I found just interesting, just, from a philosophical perspective. I like philosophy. I have a minor in it. Uh, so it's something I enjoy on a personal level. Um, I haven't been on it like I used to, or like I have in the past. But so it was actually kind of cool to read. It was kind of cool just to read, like, because it felt like a very much a philosophical debate, and I liked that. I liked that change of pace. And I think Maharaj makes some very interesting points because I kind of do come from that perspective of things being of cause and effect. And he they use a like they use a like film, like a projection, like a film on a projection as a metaphor at one point to argue to kind of argue their points, and especially Maharaj uses that to argue his point. For example, he says the 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 light does not move at all. You know very well that the movement is illusionary, a sequence of interceptions and colorings in the films. What moves is the film, which is the mind. So he's arguing that, like, yeah, these are just like lights and blah blah blah. The reason why you see a movie and whatnot is because your mind is interpreting all that as the movie. Um, but of course, the question what's interesting. The questioner makes some these and makes some points back. For example, the questioner here even says, this does not make the picture costless. The film is there. The actors, the technicians, the director, the producer, various manufacturers. The world is governed by causality. Everything is interlinked. And Maharaj says, of course, everything's interlinked, and therefore everything has numberless causes. The entire universe contributes to the least thing. A thing is at it is, because the world is as it is. You see, you deal in gold ornaments, I in gold. Between the different ornaments, there is no causal relation. When you melt down an ornament to make another, there is no causal relation between the two. The common factor is the gold. But you cannot say the gold is the cause. It is reflected in the mind as I am, as the ornament's particular name and shape. Yet all is only gold. In the same way, reality makes everything possible, and yet nothing that makes a thing what it is, its name and form, comes from reality. But why worry so much about causation? What do causes matter when things themselves are transcendent? Yet let come what comes and let go what goes. Why catch hold of things and inquire about their causes? Like, he really, like, and they go back and forth. Like, it gets At one point, I mean, um, at one point, the questioner literally says like, "Don't brush me off." Like at one point, it gets personal. Like this is all like just a philosophical point. There's like another point where it just seems to be like it feels like there's a little bit more personal because like literally like I say the questioner says don't brush me off like this. You're so quick to speak for the totality, the universe, and such imag- imaginary things. They cannot come and forbid you to talk on their behalf. I hate those irresponsible generalizations, and you are so prone to personalize them. Without causality there will be no order, nor will purposeful action be possible. And then he says, "So what do you want to know? Do you want to know all the causes of each event? Is it possible?" And he says, "I know it's not possible. All I want to know is if there are causes for everything and whether causes can be influenced, thereby affecting the events. To influence events, you need not know the causes. A roundabout way of doing things. Are you not the source and end of every event? Control it at the source itself." So this is what's interesting is that ultimately he even goes this like kind of deeper level. He's like at one level he's arguing like we're like a universe of a mind and therefore cause we're not really a universe of like cause and event effect. Um, on another level, what he's arguing is that such a concept doesn't even matter. Like that because you are the source of change itself. You are the source of the universe. You are the universe. You are one with it. You are the source. So you can impact events and change yourself just from like the direct source. Why go a roundabout way of doing something when you don't have to? When if you can go directly to the source of something, that's always the way you're like. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Everyone knows that, right? So, um, yeah, and like I say, it gets more personal, and by the end, um, because the questioner says, a costless world is entirely beyond my control. He says this towards the end of this conversation. Maharaj comes back. On the contrary, a world of which you are the only source and ground is fully within your power to change. What is created can always be dissolved and recreated. All will happen as you wanted, provided you really wanted. Like, yeah, it he gets really deep. Um, Raj is a very. I just. It's like just when you think you're like, oh, you think you can corner him and get him. Just when you think you can, he will come back with some stuff and just like, poof, set you back. Sets you back. Um, but yeah, from here, like I said, it gets more and more personal by the end. Um, yeah, yeah, it gets very personal. And even by the end, he says, "If you and your God are both helpless, does it not imply that the world is accidental? And if it is, the only thing you can do is go beyond it." So it's like even if your whole viewpoint is correct, like it doesn't matter because you can go beyond it anyways. Uh, so anyways, this video has been a bit longer than usual. Like I said, this one was very deep. It was very philosophical at the beginning, especially, and even kind of throughout. Even when it got personal, it was still very heavily spiritual and philosophical. Anyways, I'll let you all go. I'll see you all next time. Peace.